This is thur Media. To whom it concerns, welcome to the panel.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome along to this edition of the panel on thurmedia.tv. All the information is at the bottom of our stream. If you want to email us or text us, feel free to do so. Good evening, Tony Brown, and welcome.
Good evening to Pat.
And we're a bit short of heads tonight. There's a few people on holidays, and a few people may still come in late because I told them they could if they want. But anyway, we'll manage away. We had hoped to discuss, I suppose, there was holidays, people on holidays this time of the year. I was saying that our holiday when we were growing up was a day trip from Lumberstown in North Cork on the train all the way down to Youghal County Cork.
And you're lucky.
I was, yeah, and the tomato sandwiches and the egg sandwiches and all, and the small bottle of milk, the whole lot, a packed lunch and all for all of us. And anybody who knows Youghal in Cork, it's a fabulous beach. There's a fabulous beach there, you know.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of beaches now in Cork, all along the west coast, especially. The Cork Sherry and all along there, good ride.
Garryvo.
Oh, there's lots of them there because you have the Atlantic coming in there, well, the sea coming in.
You have.
Limerick is kind of landlocked. Limerick people went to Kilkee mainly, and then, of course, you had Ballybunion and Lahinch as well.
Yeah, Ballybunion is a fine beach as well. It's a fine beach, you know. And it's still very popular, you know.
Very popular. But a lot of the only problem is, I used to think with Ballybunion and Lahinch, when you went down the street in Ballybunion, you went down to the strand, and you were kind of caught there. You had to come back up again to get back up. There was no kind of walk as such.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas Kilkee, you could walk right round the bay.
You can.
It was very safe as regards. I know one thing that jellyfish anyway would never come into Kilkee. They weren't that stupid. They know they were caught. But Kilkee was always, since the 1820s, Kilkee has been popular to Limerick people.
I know that Ballyheigue and Bannistrand are can be terrible for
up in West Clare now is a place called, lots of Limerick people go there as well. My father-in-law had a caravan in Fenor. But they'd know the jellyfish that come in there.
That's phenomenal as well. And they're nasty, a nasty boy. Give you a nasty boy.
Yeah, it never happened to me. Well, I wouldn't be a swimmer as such. I can't even swim, and I've no desire ever to learn at this stage.
Yeah, it's fun. I can't swim myself. I get by and floating and stuff, but we're an island nation. It's amazing that swimming wasn't part of the curriculum when we were growing up. You know, swimming lessons. You know,
definitely wasn't. No, but that's like the old story then about fishermen. They say there are fishermen that can't swim either, most of them, which is unusual, really.
Yeah, that's true. That's true as well.
It should be made, what would you call it, compulsory, that they be able to swim before they go out in a fishing boat.
It should be part of the curriculum in Ireland, whereby when you're in first class in national school, you should have a swimming lesson every week, once a week, and to be healthy as well.
But holidays, most people took, if they could afford it, people couldn't afford holidays, you see.
No.
It's like in England, you had places like Blackpool and Scarborough, and of course they were up north of England, and you had all the people with the mining district and that. They had plenty of money, money to go on holidays Saturday. So they went to Blackpool and they went to Scarborough. But Limerick, I should say in Ireland, Butlins was up in Mosney, County Meath. And you had all the West Coast. Holidays they were important. After working 50 weeks of the year, to get 2 weeks off was fantastic. And then when people were paid as well, don't forget, they got holiday pay. The first 2 weeks in August was the time really from usually the bank holiday, the August weekend. Most people went on the Friday. And as I said, if you could afford it, you could hire a place out in Kilkee or in Lahinch or, Ballybunion for that matter. and people aspired, if you had enough money, you could aspire to get in a caravan, but they don't call them that anymore now. They call them mobile homes.
Mobile homes, and I know we say that
It
too.
sounds kind of better than saying a caravan, because people could say what halting size you in if you have a caravan, and people take that, get umbrage when you mention halting sites with their caravans.
Yeah.
But Kilkee had a lot of halting sites, like caravan parks, and God, in West Cork, you see them. If you drive,
West Cork was notorious. Yeah.
there's only Hinch,
Only
the
Hampshire.
cousins of mine in Cork used to have a caravan there, and God, you the caravans there. You really want to remember what number you were, you really get lost.
I know we were staying one down in where was it outside or down in West Cork, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
Except
then
what I did was we left the car at the entrance to where it was, park.
you pass it out,
But they were all the same. They looked the same.
People kind of, but then there were people that kind of making them different, they'd put kind of numbers on them and paint them, so that you knew it's the yellow one on the left. Other than that, especially if you hired out one for somebody, they handed you the keys and said, it's the fifth caravan going in. Of course, you went down to the caravan park, and what side did you come in from? Which was the fifth caravan. You were going around like a fool looking for it. But it was a great time to be off for 2 weeks, of course. But the evenings were gone at that stage. It's now we have the long evenings up to just coming up to the end of June. After that, then it gets a little bit shorter. You don't feel it.
Hit and miss. But there's another lovely caravan camping park just outside Kenmare, almost in Timpelow village. Beautiful lake and all there. That's another nice place. I remember spending a bit of time down there.
The only thing is you haven't the beaches so much in some parts of.
Well, there's another nice one down in Waterville.
Oh yeah, Waterville. That's what his name is. Charlie Chaplin used to go to Waterville, and what's his name? General de Gaulle used to go down there as well on holidays, which is hard to believe in all the places in France.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't stick down to the bottom, but of course people didn't know him. I suppose.
No, he was probably able to relax more down there,
Well, if you passed him out in the street, you'd probably say to yourself, "Is that General de Gaulle? I wonder. It looks like him." But then, what would he be doing over here? So the people that kind of left him alone, wouldn't know him as such.
I know.
But holidays have changed so much to have.
The whole nature of them now is the package holidays came in. They were huge in the 70s and 80s. The package holidays where you get your flight, hotel, and your board for a week or 2 weeks.
Well, I remember going to Kilkee. I ended up nearly walking it one time to Kilkee. Would you believe that?
I would.
What happened was we were hitching the lift. We got a lift. Myself and this, God, I often wonder where he is now, Tom O'Mahony. We hitched it out. You could hitch out on the Dublin Road. You'd always get a lift to Ennis. And we hitched in we kind of hitch and we're getting lifts here and lifts there. And we couldn't get a lift. I remember being on the road and nobody around, not a sinner. And we were outside Fanny O'Dea's pub, I remember, which was always put down as kind of halfway between Limerick and Kilkee. And believe it or not, Tom O'Mahony, I blame him, he decided to take a bike, a woman's bike, with no bar. And he took me on the handlebars. Would you believe that?
Yeah, I would.
And every time that a car might come, we could ditch the bike and start hitching. But we were picked up at about 4:30 in the morning by a well-known Limerick man, Basil Collinson. He used to do big signs, for the pictures and that.
Yes.
And we arrived at Kilkee at about 5 o'clock in the morning, and met all the usual clowns going around, nowhere to stay, and just walking around the street.
Like zombies, yeah.
No, but they were waiting for the church to open.
Oh yeah, for a bit of heat.
Minutes down. I remember it. God, I think it is codology. Going to the church. Stupid things you do. And the place kind of became alive because you met other fools then that were sleeping in various places. I remember it was a great laugh now to us, I'm talking about 1960, I suppose 66, 67, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and being and walking around Kilkee with nothing to do. It was boring. All I wanted to do was to go home then, That, and you met the odd fella then with a car, might do a lift, but you
yeah.
always get the bus home. You'd easily get the bus home if you had enough money. There
Well,
was a huge hotel there called the Atlantic Hotel,
yeah,
massive hotel, big real 60s type thing. And
yes.
all gone now, but that was there, and people were kind of wishing you could stay there, and in the lap of luxury. But all the places, there were the guest houses and that, and the same in Ballybunion. I went to Ballybunion the other day with my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
They're into just I forget where they even stayed. No, they were staying in the house in Ballybunion. And like that, how things have changed, It's amazing. There's
But
2 weeks off.
but I'm just thinking of what is in Kilkee beside the beach? What else is there?
There was always entertainment in Kilkee now, always. You got Limerick fellas going down.
Yeah,
Kilkee was not,
you're talking about the pubs. Apart from the pubs, what else
yeah.
is there? What else is
But
there for people?
there's what's anywhere. Look at the Hinch. There's not
Yeah,
the Hinch of a kind of
yes,
a swimming thing. What do they call it? Where you go an indoor swimming pool, Dad.
yeah,
Uh, but like that with Kilkee, you could duck somebody in Kilkee if you saw them coming. You could duck them. There were lots
yeah,
of places, lots of back streets in Kilkee.
yes,
Kilkee was very popular in the 1850s and 1860s when
yes,
uh, people, the Limerick people, used to go by boat, believe it or not. And obviously
yeah.
there were no cars. They went by boat from Limerick down to Kilrush to Kappa and got off at Kilrush. And then they'd hire a car, a horse and car,
A
to
horse
take
and car.
to take them to Kilkee. But a lot of the Kilkee people, they were very sour with Limerick people. What they used to
Kill,
do was
kill, Kilrush to Kilkee. What's Kilrush to Kilkee is about 7 or 8 miles. Eh?
7 miles, yeah.
Yeah,
But they bring all their accoutrements, all their groceries with them. And Kilkee people didn't like that. That all the people would pack up their cars with tea and sugar and stuff, to Kilkee. That some of them would be giving out that Limerick people weren't buying stuff. Well, I suppose the same for the Hinch, the people were going down bringing stuff with them, that they weren't supporting the local shops. There's
yeah. Well,
local
that's
shops.
a fair point. A fair point as
Yeah,
well.
but that happened for years, and that's still going on. Lots of then, of course, fellas, it was very handy then for fellas. The dances in Limerick then would be packed with men because all the wives were in Kilkee, and the fellas were free. They could be all going out at night to dances and the discos. That was well known as well.
Yeah,
You'd see fellas in pubs. When I'd be playing in pubs, you'd see fellas you wouldn't see when the wives come back, they weren't out, But the
yeah,
wives were down in Kilkee and the fellas were free then. The wives took the children down for 2 months. They usually went for 2 months to Kilkee. The husband would go down for his 2 weeks and had his lot after 2 weeks and went back to work, So it's funny times where
it was different times. But as I said, when the era of the package holidays came in, then and
yeah,
flying got cheaper, people were able to look at the idea of going to Spain or Portugal for a week.
you'd hear of
And
people taking a foreign holiday in the 70s even. You'd be amazed, that
yeah,
wealthy people went away and they'd come back. Fellas would have tens, had never had tens, They'd be
yeah,
like, they were like they sizzled up nearly, lying out in the
yeah.
sun all day. And don't forget, there was no factor, no what would you call it? That help your skin, like no, what would you call them? The creams and that.
Yeah, the lotion, sun lotion.
Ferocious. People were destroyed. I can remember getting burned. You got your back burned. You had blisters, and you
Yeah,
were thought there was nothing to it. Like you
no.
didn't realise what you were doing to your skin. There's times have changed with that, and that's result now about line out and that. But
Well,
for
there's so many warnings about people, but I mean, I saw a doctor speaking recently, he said sun is very good for you as a human being. Very good for your son, and it's very good for you. And you should never put on sun lotion on your skin. And he said, obviously, I'm not saying you should stay out in the sun all day long and get burned, but I mean, if you're walking around in the south of France and there's 30, 35 degrees, for any length of time, you're going to get burned. You're going to get burned, you know?
Oh, it's done terrible damage, you know.
So buy a hat and a long sleeve t-shirt and you're fine.
The which, what you
When
said,
buy a hat and a long sleeve t-shirt and you're grand.
well covered up, you know, but you don't see when you weren't brought up to that, then you didn't
No,
understand.
we're not. I mean, well, we had short trousers till we got our confirmation,
Yeah,
Tony, and that was it.
everybody should be well covered up, you know, as regards the sun. But you see, you don't realise that. But
No.
foreign holidays were expensive years ago. Well, it's the flight really that to foreign places. It's just that there's a lot to be said for Michael O'Leary and his cheap holidays, his cheap flights.
Oh, there are, yeah. There is no doubt about it, you know. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh, it
You
is.
know,
I mean, today now, I overheard the conversation which I stuck my nose in. I got involved in. A girl she's going over. I know she's not going to the sun now, but she's going to Brussels for the weekend. I said, "You're joking me, you know." Going, I think she's going Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. She's going Friday evening, and
and
she'll be
back Sunday night,
back in Monday over to
yeah.
Brussels. I mean, that's unheard of years ago, you know.
It'd be only about 40 or 50 quid returning in the flight.
That's all. That's all. But and like I mean, years ago you couldn't. People take 6 months to get to Brussels years ago. You
Yeah,
know.
it's cheaper to go to buses than go from the train from Limerick to Dublin.
Oh, it is. It's just, well, that's the same with the cost of hotels. If you think you want to spend a weekend in, I don't know, we'll just say Dublin, for example. I mean, the cost of staying there is phenomenal. Getting there and then paying for the hotel. It is cheaper to go on foreign holidays sometimes. If you go anywhere, you know, like what I mean by anywhere is if you don't mind what part of Spain you're going to or Portugal, you know,
Yeah.
it's easy to take a cheap holiday.
I could never see the idea of going to another country and lie out in the sun on the beach for the whole 5 or 6 days. If I go to a place, I want to see what's there, the
Yeah,
history, all that kind, the architecture and all that. I'd be interested in the layout of the place, you know.
yeah, but some people are not like that, you see. You know,
Yeah,
there's just, especially younger people, they just
yeah,
want to go and get out and get drunk. And because I remember years ago, a fellow warned me that first time I went to a holiday, he said to me not to buy. What way did he put it down here? Don't buy Coca-Cola, he said. It's very dear, he said. And I said, what do you mean very dear? Oh, he said, they'd rob me for Coca-Cola. So I went, what when I went out there, I was afraid of my life to buy Coke. I guess it was about £40 a bottle, you know. And what he meant was, it was actually cheaper than alcohol, you know, than buying, we'll say, beer or that. That's what
yeah.
he meant about it being very dear. He meant like he should have explained to me properly, you know. And I ordered four bottles of Coca-Cola, myself, my wife, and the two children. And I was shaking. My knees were doing 90 under the table waiting to get the bill. You know, next day I remember I forget how much it was now, but geez, I couldn't believe it. I thought that it was going to be £100 for the four
Yeah,
bottles. And I forget what it was, but what he meant was it was actually cheap. It was the brandies and all those foreign yokes out there, that they're actually cheaper than the price of Coca-Cola, you know.
all right.
Yeah. But
The alcohol was cheaper.
with alcohol, yeah, that's what he meant, you know. But he
Yeah,
didn't mean that. He just frightened me by saying Coca-Cola is very dear, you know. But that was the
well,
way we were brought up.
Coca-Cola, of course, I would be in my bond. I think it should be banned from all schools now.
Oh,
It's pure, it's poison.
yeah,
That's
but
what
look
it
at
is.
well to that company now. So they owned all the film companies and all they do.
Yeah.
Columbia Pictures they owned it, and God, all the properties Coca-Cola owns. A huge. Actually, they had a big, huge bottling plant up in Mayo I often forgot about that. Was that still going or what?
And Little Island in Cork as well.
And then Little Island, I didn't know
A
when
huge place in Cork, yeah,
yeah,
for years.
I was up in Mayo somewhere. I
Yeah.
went that out a few times. I keep forgetting about it. Above, kind of in the middle of nowhere. What I mean by that is up beyond Ballina to the west of Ballina, I think it was. A huge place.
Well,
And
they had access to clean water, I think, or something like that. Wasn't it?
it was, and it was up there anyway in Mayo. Whether it's still there or not, maybe it is. And the Coca-Cola, huge plant there, a massive company,
No.
but like
A
that.
few of us were chatting the other night, and we were saying, is the word housewife gone out of fashion? Is it not used anymore?
No, well, there was a program, but I didn't see it. There was a program coming on with the housewife of the year. I know a fellow want them just to call him that, the housewife of the year. See, when he did everything for his wife, she didn't have to lift a cup. He used to do everything, and they christened him the housewife of the year. And put him in his
Well,
name.
I mean, that was a big competition one time in Ireland, the Callar Gas housewife of the year.
They
Where
were trying
the,
to say electricity kind of went up at one stage, what it always has.
yeah, yeah.
They were promoting cousin gas for people to
It
the bottom.
never goes down, Tony.
Yeah, oh no, no, no.
It never
But the
goes
price,
down.
the price of gas. So the bottles of gas now, I saw it advertised lately. I think it was 30, some fella was selling it at €30.
They're €55 for the gas bottle.
€30, just
That's
31.
it.
31, because I said it to Patsy Perro. Patsy gets one every so often. Well, not this time of the year, like, but he's the open fire and he's a gas fire as well. But I remember saying it to him, and I think he said he was buying it out in Walters out in Killeely, and he said I think it's around 31, I think, because I saw that being advertised for 30. I
Yeah,
remember getting that. You got it for £1.
yeah.
Colossal. It went up to £1.10, and then there was another company came out, Airgas. It was
Air
owned by
gas. Yeah, yeah.
and Airgas still
Flow,
cheaper.
flow
But
gas.
I think they were, yeah, but I think the flow gas. I think the automatic. I think flow gas took over Airgas, and then I think
Anyway, the housewife of the year was a competition here in Ireland we had for years and years, and whereby they were measured by different standards they kept and how they were able to cook and organise kitchen, organise food and organise meals for their family and all of that. And
oh yeah,
they won a new kitchen, I suppose, a new setup in their kitchen,
yeah.
for cooking and all that. But it was a very, very popular program.
What
Very
about
popular.
house, housewife of the year? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think I'd ever get a medal for that now.
no, but
Housewives. But there was there was some I great fun out of it, I tell you, because the women would say that their husbands are at home, and should it be a houseman to do a year or what, you'd wonder, and the state of place and things own houses, you'd kind of wonder. That's a
I
story for
know.
you know.
Well, of course, and do women like being referred to as housewives anymore?
The housewife, yeah, I don't think you wouldn't hear that said much now.
You
What
never hear.
she's a housewife, you wouldn't hear a housekeeper. No, you'd often hear somebody saying like, what does she do? What does his wife? She works out. She's at home. You mean she's at home doing twiddling her thumbs all day? She's at home doing her knitting.
Well,
But
I think if you said she's a housewife, that would mean she's looking after the well-being of the family.
oh yeah, that's what
You
she's kind
know,
of meant to
and
be.
and I think it's gone out of vogue, gone out of fashion.
Some people take umbrage to that. They would call them housewives.
Yeah.
They get very annoyed at you, they would. But
Wasn't there a program on RT with the Housewife's Choice or something with Val Joyce or someone?
yeah, that was just a request program, Housewives Show. But they had those everywhere. So you look at BBC when I was a child, you had a program on the mornings called Music While You Work.
Yeah.
God, it was awful, stupid old music because
What do
you
you, should we revive that Housewife's Choice?
know, what time would you have it? What time would you have it on it? You see, is the
For me,
thing.
for me, 8 o'clock in the morning till 10.
You know, 'cause you
And
ever
they can have a cup of tea then in the scone.
imagine, imagine advertising that, you know. Now
Yeah.
we're a housewife's choice, you know.
House exercise for 2 hours, and while they're doing the hoovering and the sweeping,
Yeah,
and
she's
the,
debated
and
after that.
dusting, yeah. And after at 10 o'clock, then we have a voucher for them to win for to get some fresh scones and butter and have a
Yes.
cup of tea as well.
But
I think
here's
I think they go down well.
I wanted to cut over and to put you down the hole. It's if
I
you
don't
advertise
know. I don't know.
actually,
A lot of people would like a cup of tea and a scone.
yeah. No, I hate scones. I don't like
Yeah.
scones at all. No,
No,
not a scone person, no.
I
Because
li- I, li- I like them in the morning. Yeah.
anyone now listening to would understand what I mean as regards there seems to be a lot of yeast put into scones, kind of prop them up.
Well,
But
it depends on where you're buying them now. You
yeah,
know,
I don't know.
there's
To me, they're all the same. And
yeah.
it seems like it's full of yeast. And oh God, I find the yeast inside my mouth. I would.
You could bake your own.
No, that'll never happen.
Bake
No.
your
So
own.
until I'm good talking to housewives, I'm brilliant at making tea. You know, that's the end of my
I saw an article in the Post today. Did you get the Post today? My Post this week,
chance. No.
where there was a commemoration for the famine commemoration.
In Kilmarnock, I wasn't
Yeah,
invited at all.
and oh well, no, I mean, really, the president was there, the mayor of Limerick
Oh,
was
yeah.
there,
So he'd be
and
opening the
and
best to be there.
Patrick O'Donovan, the minister, was there,
Yeah.
Minister O'Donovan, and there was a criticism of the mayor turning up inappropriately dressed for such an occasion. You
Oh,
see
yeah,
that
but,
in a big article, a Fine Gael councillor objected to the way he was dressed. And he was wearing the regalia, all the gowns of the office of mayor, the red
but
cloak and all that.
there are two chains, yeah. He
And
wears,
yeah,
he wears, yeah,
and he
because,
was making the point that it was out of kilter for what they were commemorating for the famine,
yeah.
And he said somebody, no, he didn't say that, but I guess he was probably objected to the regalia because it was a reminder of the what they call of the English um, uh, what the English occupation of Ireland at the time for that time,
Yeah, during the
and
famine. Yeah.
and those gowns were representative of the
Like,
yeah, of the empire of the British Empire.
yeah, yeah.
And so that was the point he was trying to make in a long-winded way. But I thought he had a point.
I thought Mr. what's his name, the Minister Patrick O'Donovan, because I gave him his first radio interview ever when he was running for the council, ever before he went to the Dáil.
Oh
He was
yeah,
he was running for the council in Limerick, and I interviewed him one night, and I did say, all right. I remember a friend of mine, Tom English. Tom English heard me, and he said it to me. I heard you making the comment. He said that. I said he was TD material because he was well able to talk, and he was only running for the council that time now, from Newcastle West,
yeah.
and he was a school teacher. And but like that, I thought he might think of me when he was sending out invitations because he's Minister for Defence, sir, and he should have been sending out invitations for that, But I never heard from him anyway. That was in Kilmarnock. That was last Sunday week, I think. But
It
anyway,
was. I saw very little information on it,
oh yeah, but
And I think it's a sad reflection on the state of our country and the state of politics in general. When politicians think that it's their exclusive right to participate and have these commemorations without inviting the general public to them. Because after all, most of the people that died in the famine were the poor people, the people that had nothing to. They were the most of the people that were killed,
but
that
the same
died,
happened last week out in Killaloe. They blocked all the people from going down to the bridge.
They did, yeah, they did.
It's hard to believe because a friend of mine, Paddy Walden,
It's not hard to believe when you think about it.
it is really, well, Paddy Walden, Paddy lives in Ballina, and
Yeah.
he strolled down just for the kind of, we'll call it the full of his mouth.
Yeah.
He permitted to go down. They'd only all the dignitaries out in the front, Timmy Dooley, all out in the front, and no locals could go down.
No, they couldn't.
It's funny in one sense, you know. And
But who voted those people into office? The very people that weren't allowed to go over the bridge.
People, you get the politicians you vote for, and what can you do? I mean, people forget that they have the power to vote. But
you saw another one of the local politicians in Clare, Cathal Crowe, who stood up in the Dáil to see that what he was talking about. That he made a complete embarrassment of himself, and he was a school teacher before he became a TD. You know.
There's more school teachers up there. One time they were nearly all auctioneers in the Dáil.
Yeah, they were.
There are school teachers now. Most of them school teachers. You know, because they're picked because they're kind of meeting the mothers and the fathers and that in the schools, and they pick them up.
I suppose when you look at Ireland or any country, particularly our own country we live in, the two most vulnerable groups of people in Ireland at the moment are children and the senior citizens, particularly senior citizens who are in homes, who are in care homes. Care is the operative word. And a lot of the care homes are owned by private run companies.
Yeah.
And those private companies are only interested in profit.
Profit, that's all.
And the Minister for Older People is Kieran O'Donnell, Fine Gael in Limerick. He's the Minister for Older People. He has responsibility. And the programme that was on last night in RT, did anyone see it? I mean, of the appalling treatment of people but this is going on all the time. We have the Department of Health, the Minister for Health, the Junior Minister for Health, HICWA, and so many others, and nobody seems to take responsibility for this.
No, they won't.
And nobody will lose their job. Nobody will be held accountable. This is the problem. And people will be terrorized in these nursing homes. And that's what it is, terrorizing older people, you know. And it's going on too long in the country, way too long, for years, you know.
But there's nothing going to be done about it. That program, I couldn't watch it when I saw the promo for it. I said I couldn't watch this. And on top of that, this will all be forgotten next week. There'll be no more about it.
No.
Come around looking for votes, and nobody will say to them, you know. The odd one will say my mother was in a home. I tell her, Joe, I was thinking last night, where am I going to end up? I'd imagine it like you just don't know where you're going to end up. You know, what affliction will you have? I don't know. What's going to happen?
I suppose if you have your health and your mind is okay, you know, you have your mind about you.
That's easy. I mean, you don't know.
I know we have, but obviously people who are suffering from dementia, like my mum was, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say anything about the home she was in. It was a very clean, very well run, but she was in there during this COVID scam.
Yeah.
COVID cracked her around. They weren't left outside the door for fresh air or anything, you know, which was appalling altogether. You know, you wouldn't treat animals like that. You know, animals be left out of the sheds for fresh air. But you kept human beings inside the nursing homes. Not a bit of fresh air left into them. I mean, it was just an appalling time. It was an appalling time to carry on like that. You know?
Somebody said, I don't know what station I'd be listening to. I'd be jumping from station to station. Somebody said that there isn't enough checks being done by the families at night. You see, people are going to visit their father or their mother in a home at 5 o'clock in the day or 6:30, and they go home then it's a happy state. There's nobody coming anymore. You know, it's I remember my mother was out in the city home, but they don't like calling it that anymore now, St. Camillus, and she didn't mind it there, and she had the full faculties, we'll say. The only thing, and she's the morning she didn't like. She said you got your breakfast at about, I think about 7:30 or 8 o'clock.
Not earlier now.
Yeah, and you finished then after that, and there was nothing to do till till 12 or whatever time they serve the dinner at, you know.
Well, what I found depressing in the home that my mum was in, it didn't matter if my mum got help because she had dementia, you know, and they were all inside in this big huge room in armchairs and couches, half asleep and half medicated,
yeah.
and a television on in the corner. I mean, that was it. I mean, that was just.
I don't know, it's depressing. The more I think about it, the more depressing it gets.
I was asking one or two members of the staff, do they take him outside the door, walk around the grounds, you know, in the fresh air, you know, and bring him back in again? There wasn't enough staff to do that.
I went out, I was asked to go out and talk to the patients in the city home, which I did. Well, that, again, I was pre-COVID, I haven't been back there since. And even I know, I can think of two people that were there and they're dead and buried since. I went out to the patients several times, and I used to get them talking when you talk about. The only thing was for me, that there should be somebody permanently doing that and
Well, I know my brother Billy, and a few people go out to the home once or twice a week singing.
Yeah.
A sing song with them all. And they're really twice a week, and they really look forward to it, you know.
You do.
And it costs nothing but your time.
All your time. I was out. I said no. I went out once a week to City Home, and I had a great laugh with them now because I knew there were the talkers and the non-talkers, and I had many laughing. They were looking forward to me going out.
Yeah.
But that stopped, and the way the girl was who used to organise it, I never heard from her when COVID came in. I never heard from her anymore. So whether they still do that or not, I don't know. And but like
where's that St. Camillus Hospital, is it?
Yeah, but what you do, you ring up and say tomorrow I'd go out. You see then, and then I don't know the whole situation. There should be somebody being paid. I mean, I could go to the regional hospital there, and I could, and no matter where I go, I was out last Sunday week. I went out to see Pascal O'Grady now. He's in the home in outside of Milford. Milford, they have a home at one side, and then you have the hospice at the other side.
Well, who are they? Were they Noni and Katie, was it?
Yeah, Pascal. Yeah, Pascal. I mean, he's full faculties he has, you know, and he knew what I was doing. I was talking to him for a while, but I came away then because the same day there was I nearly said a boxing match. There was a hurling match coming on. And I said I'd leave him alone to watch that. I don't know whether much of an interest in it or not, I don't know. But I came away then as soon as that started, you know.
Yeah.
That, there are other patients there, and you don't know whether to get involved or not with them, because no matter where they'd be from, I'd know it. I'd know the place.
Yeah.
You know? But the regional outside, there's nobody going around even. People that are only in for a while, there's nobody talking to them really. The nurses haven't time. You know, it's very hard, you know. But like that, there's nobody being paid to go to if I got not a full-time job, if I got a job with the HSE, I wouldn't be long going out and talk to the city home outside or to anything.
I know. I mean, what I couldn't figure out then in the home my mum was in, there was no board games or anything, because I know a lot of people of my generation love drafts, the game of drafts. It's a simple game. A board game or Ludo, or snakes and ladders, or chess, or anything like that. Board games, and they're saying people love them. They love. You know, it's in the mind. You know, it'll keep you active. They were just sitting there in a big room with nothing around them, not even a newspaper.
Yeah. Well, you see that in The Simpsons now. We're talking about The Simpsons do that. The grandfather's in the home.
Yeah.
They do that. They show you like what it's like, all sitting there, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's true, because they were giving out tablets. They were giving out their tablets now. The bell went, and Homer ran out first to get his father's tablets.
Yeah.
You know, he said he'd take them. He didn't care what they were. But it just shows you where the tablets are given out at a certain time, you know. And he hopped into the wheelchair then, and he did a race with another fella in the wheelchair. Did her as she went down, you know, going down the aisle, trying to get the dinner.
Yeah.
Know? But like that's life in a nursing home. You know what way will we all end up? Nobody knows. You know.
No, one thing about The Simpsons, they do capture the essence of life, of different aspects of life, and
Oh,
it's spot on.
very well put. A lot of people have no patience for it now, but it's very funny and it's very well done. Well, although if you look at the credits, there are hundreds involved in it.
There
You
are,
know,
yeah.
when you
And
see the
then
credits going up at the end, how
and the
many?
mayor, I like the mayor, the character of the mayor I like the mayor.
Oh yeah, I think. Oh yeah, Mayor Quimby. He,
Uh,
and he's taking it off. You know they're getting it because he does a real Boston accent. He has. You
and
know.
I like the bar as well, Mo's bar.
All right. I think
Yeah,
I should go on Mastermind and do a thing on the Simpsons and
yeah,
give.
the Mo's bar is very good. Great characters in there.
I can answer all the questions from the Simpsons, you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that is very funny, you know. And if you couldn't laugh at the Simpsons, there's something
No,
really there.
it is funny. It is very well written as well. It's very well
Oh, very,
written, you know.
very well
Very well
done.
written.
And it's so true. Like I remember George Bush said one time that he was on about the American family, and he said, "I hope we don't end up like the Simpsons." You know, that he was giving out like that. There's so violent sometimes in it, you know. But
Yeah.
you'd have to laugh at it. You'd have
I
to laugh at
mean,
some of the things in it
I
now.
mean the idea of Homer working in the
But even his
with
name alone, like even Homer, you know,
yeah
it must be Homer.
with radiation, you know, in
It's
the
funny.
nuclear power plant. That was very funny.
That's funny. The whole thing behind it, and you man that
And
owns it, Mr. Burns, you know,
and
and
Smithers,
the man that owns the power plant, Burns.
you can't forget Smithers.
Oh yeah, but they're all called all the characters. Then all their names come up in the credits. They're all fellas working on it. That they
Yeah,
give the names to people in it. You know that are
yeah,
working on it.
yes, they're doing the voices as well.
See the names when you read the credits going up, you see the names on it of fellas. Like there's one fellow Burns in it. I can't think what he does in it, and you know that's funny. You know, but like that's the nursing homes. You know how we will end up. Do you know what I was last week? I went to a council meeting too last week. A city council meeting. There's 40 councillors, and do you know how many were sitting there at one stage? 19.
Less than
19.
half. Yeah,
19. It's disgusting, you know. And to think the money they're being paid, you know, and some of them don't even bother going. They just couldn't be bothered. You know, there's
there's a big housing list as well apparently on in Limerick City and County. People waiting for houses. Yeah,
so you had the mayor sitting there and you had a councillor kind of with him, and then you had all these executives, they're all directors of everything. And
yeah.
there were, I think I counted 13 of them there. What they were doing there, I do not know. All just sitting there, all on big money, you know, just sitting there and doing absolutely nothing, looking at their own phones and looking at the computers at the same time, you know. And in the gallery, there was even one there with her mother who's doing politics, and she was writing notes. And then there's nobody else. There was about five came in who obviously were council workers because they had these things on their necks in case they get
Yeah,
lost. Do you know these things? I think that's what they're for, in case they get lost. They'll be able to find their way home. These
yeah.
ribbons around their necks. And I mean, it's unreal. And watching a show, oh, the whole codology. You could see some of the councillors were bored out of their skull. The mayor gave an introductory talk, and it went on for about, I think it went on for about a half hour, 3/4 of an hour.
Oh, go away.
Going to do
What was he talking about?
it was all up in writing up in the wall as well. You could read it, all about what he's going to do in Limerick. And I tell you, I got confused the whole thing, you know. And I mean, people don't know what's going on. You know, they're not interested. I mean, why wasn't there a crowd there above in the gallery? And they have security in the gallery as well now. Imagine it. For in case you shout, they can tough you out. If you shout or object to anything from the
Where was
gallery.
this? Out in Dour Drive?
Yeah, yeah. Hard to believe. And to see 19 councils and to see them, they're going in and out for cups of tea for themselves, and they're just bored, some of them, the whole thing. There's no system kind of there.
Was there reporters there reporting on it? You know.
Well, they're in under I couldn't see who was there, underneath. There's a kind of it's funny kind of a balcony. You can't see under it, so you know who's there. And there were 1 or 2 people referred to the people under there, and I couldn't figure out. And the mayor is sitting there. Here's his agenda made out, and you wonder like about the whole thing. And these microphones then they can turn them off and turn them on.
That's
And,
right.
oh, it's the whole.
It's the same with the council chamber in Innis, you know. Each individual has their own microphone, you know.
Yeah.
But I went up to 2 or 3 meetings there as well in Innis, and really, the councillors don't have any power to do anything.
No, and then these kind of proposals they're making, you know.
They have to go begging to the permanent people out there. That's what they have to do.
I couldn't believe.
Or at the very worst, or at the very least, they'll have to get a TD to make representations on their behalf to the council.
But I was looking down and I said to myself, the amount of money this is costing to all those people there, you know, it was unreal. They should bring in more schools in there, let them know explain to them what's happening. But nobody seems to be interested, you know, and see, nobody there. Just only the workers from the council. I know they came in just to full of their mouth, you know. I said they were on break time. And
Yeah.
there's nobody there, and a security fella that. God, I mean, the whole thing is crazy. You know, there's nothing can be done about it. And don't forget, they were all after getting their lunch as well. They're free upstairs in the dining room. You know,
And what time did the meeting start?
it's what?
What time did the meeting happen?
3 o'clock. Once a month when they have, well, they have these other meetings then, they have different area meetings with the councillors from their own area. And don't forget they're all paid expenses as well.
I know in County Clare, it's a small county, as you know, we have the Shannon Municipal District.
Yeah, the municipal.
We have the Innis Municipal District. We have
Yeah,
the Killaloe Municipal District. We have 4 or 5 districts in Clare. There
Yeah.
are 28 councillors. 28.
But there's 40 in Limerick. That's why I was able to count them looking down. 19, imagine, at one stage. They were gone, someone would go home, then they get sick. You could see them packing their bag, getting up their accoutrements, and you could see them there. They're all listening. I saw one fellow, he was looking up at the ceiling. I thought he had to shout down, said to me, you know, a penny for your thoughts, what he was doing, just looking around him. You know, I know most of them. And I think most of them knew me. You know, you could see him nearly read their lips. Look at him up there looking down at us, you know. But the whole system is.
You didn't take any notes.
Unreal, you know. Although I already heard now that from one councillor said about me, he told this fella that there were a few of them unnervy over me. Over me? I unnerved them, he said. Can you imagine councillors getting unnerved over me?
I can, yeah. There's too many of those type people around, I think I must say. Well, Limerick Saturday evening, for people who may not be interested or know this, the Munster hurling final is being held at 6 o'clock in the evening on Saturday evening in the Gaelic grounds. It's a sellout, 42,000 people.
I'll be there. Yeah,
So anybody who's around Limerick on Saturday, you can avoid that whole area of town until about 8 or 9 o'clock anyway, you know, because it'll be full of people, you know.
Who's playing Limerick and who?
Cork and Limerick on the Saturday evening at 6 p.m. Throwing.
Yeah. It must be charging a tenner anyway there.
Well, it's 50 euro for a ticket for the match stand.
How much?
50 euro. And it's 40 euro to stand behind the goals.
You're joking me, yeah?
I'm not.
50 euros, quid. And she sold the house.
Sold out.
Joking.
Limerick are on the cusp of making history if they win. If they win on Saturday, they'll win the Munster title for the 7th year in a row. It's never been done.
No, it's the first round of the second round of the cup.
And if they win, and just tell you, Tony, I know you're very interested. If they win the Munster final in Limerick, they're into the All Ireland semi-final,
Oh yeah,
and
that's not the
yeah.
B League, is it? Is that the B
No,
one?
no. This is the top dog now. This to be top dog. Yeah, be
But
top dog in Ireland.
is it a friendly? Do they all shake hands at a
Oh,
friendly?
there's nothing friendly about it, I must say. I won't.
But
Be
what happens
tough.
if they're playing back to back? Do they all go out sideways, kind of back to back?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What does
yeah.
that mean? And down, fella said, it was down to the wire. I never saw a wire in the way. Did
Well,
you?
the old Gaelic grounds are always the old GA pitches were always wired in the playing area
That's what it
from the
means. If the thing
yeah
is down to the wire, that's what
yeah
it
down
means.
to the wire, yeah, down to the wire.
Oh yeah,
That's
I
where
remember.
that came from,
Yeah,
and
oh yeah,
it was down to a puck of the ball. You heard the puck of the ball was
oh
given.
yeah,
Yeah,
oh yeah. Last time I was in the Gaelic grounds now, do you know what was far now? The soccer, geez, I'll say it in a minute. The showband fellas, showband stars. Just Jimmy McGee used to do that.
oh
They,
yeah,
before he got involved in sport, that was now. He was involved in
the
music. Don't forget that.
Errol Gill and Jimmy McGee. Errol
Like,
Gill.
there
Yeah,
were a few of us go around, and
yeah,
but that kind of died a death because they had to travel, you see.
yeah,
And on a
yeah.
Monday night, most of the matches were held on a Monday night when there was never dancing on a Monday night.
No,
But that's the last time I was there, and I genuinely forget who was even there.
for people who are looking at the first time, we were talking about the showband here in Ireland were 59 to 69, 70. And
Oh,
the showband just play 6 nights of the week, but their night off was Monday.
Monday night,
Day
huh?
off was
You know,
Monday.
Converse is a great place to go. I
Huh?
was privileged to be there one time. They used to play on a Monday night. All the showband fellas would go to Barry's Hotel on a
Oh,
Monday
yeah,
night. And I remember I was there once, and it was fantastic to be there.
a jam session.
Meet so many fellas or bands that I knew. You know,
Yeah,
I was only about 15, I'd say, at the time.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
My brother brought me there, and I forget how actually we were there, and it was great to be there and meet so many fellas or bands. All the bands from that area used to all hit the barriers on a Monday night. And I remember Eddie Masterson, and he wrote the tribute to Jim Reeves. I remember Eddie well. He
yeah.
was. I remember all these fellas were there at the dancing in the hotel on a Monday night. Bally's was the only place that was really on a Monday night. Bally's Hotel. But times
And
have changed.
then you had the Iron Club.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
the Iron Club, the nurses' dances be there.
She had a population in Dublin.
If you wanted to meet a nurse on a Thursday night, it'd be in the Iron Club. You
Yeah,
know,
and you
there you
had
go.
I never knew for years what it meant, the Eggs dance. But the Eggs dance were the agricultural crowd studying in Dublin, vets and that, and
Yeah,
Eggs
yeah.
was the Eggs. And there were lots of
The vets are very good. They tell you how to bull a cow, at the
how
dance. Yeah, how to bull a cow at the dance, the vets dances. But it was a different time in Ireland, obviously, and live music is always fantastic. Not all, but live you can't beat live music. No matter where I go, I always look out for live music. We were over in France last summer, a few of us, and we went to see an open air concert in Béziers because you can have open air in France because they have the weather for it. There's an
yeah.
open air theatre. You were sitting out in the elements.
To get the weather, yeah.
And it was the music of Jacques Brel. Jacques
Yeah.
Brel,
You
famous
know,
French singer.
when living in France.
Yeah,
There was a play one time written in that.
yeah.
I went to see it, I remember, down the City Theatre. My surname took one of the lead past it, and Bushnell.
And Bushnell, remember Anne Bushnell, yeah?
She was in it, and there was a team of fellas down from Dublin doing that. I remember, God, I can't think of his name. He was a great drummer. He was on it, and who else was in that? But anyway, that was the title of the thing. Jack Brel is alive and well and living in Paris.
And the man who was singing, he was top class. He was physically very like Jack Brel as well, physically.
Yeah.
Of course, Jack Brel himself was Belgium, was he? Belgium?
Who?
Jack Brel was Belgian, I think.
Oh, I'm not sure really. No, I don't
I think
know.
I think he was. I'm not 100%. But
About him.
I was very familiar with his music anyway, and
Yeah.
when we were getting the tickets, was just a great night, and just a brilliant night of fabulous music.
Yeah, I forgot about Jack Bryan. I must look him up sometime and see what tunes he wrote and that, Let's go onto Wikipedia and find
Yeah.
out.
Now Jacques Brel, he was
Is it the
he,
same name as the man that,
yeah, he was born in Brussels in Belgium in 1929,
oh
and he
yeah,
died at the age of 49 in Bobigny in France.
oh, anyway.
Jacques Brel, and
Braille, it must be the same as the man that invented the writing for blind people, Braille. It must be the same surname.
I don't know that now.
Is it the same surname as Braille, as in Braille, the man that did
Well,
it?
he was a Brel,
Oh, I see.
Brel,
Yeah, it was
you
the
know.
one that the man that did the writing, but where did he spell his name?
I don't know that now,
Yeah. Wonder, I must look that up sometime. Is it the same name, same surname? It sounds like it is anyway. But it might.
All his music is available online. You can buy all his music on
Okay,
Amazon.
you'd have. It's
And
like
then
the
what
other day.
makes, as you know yourself, what makes these concerts are not only the people that are there, but the musicians that are around him
Yeah,
that he has
musicians.
as with him are just fantastic.
She get up some
Fantastic.
of that tune where what's his name? The French. I can't think of his name now this minute. Uh, he was very popular in France in the 30s. He used to sing a song which was recorded afterwards in English, but it was a Le Mer, the river. It was Ken Dadin brought it out. He brought out the English version of it.
And Bobby Down,
Oh yeah, well
that was Charles Trenet.
that's him. Yeah, Charles was.
Charles Trenet,
Yeah, that's in
La
it.
Mer, La
Oh, it's
Mer. Yeah,
Le Mer.
wonderful
And
song.
there's a simple backing on it, just two
Yeah,
fiddles, and I forget what, but it's a lovely tune to listen to, Le Maire.
Beyond the Sea.
Beyond the Sea, yeah.
Yeah, Beyond the Sea, and I loved Bobby Down's version of it, of course, but I loved the original Charles Trenet as well.
Johnson is a nice
But
version. Although
French,
it depends on
French,
what you hear first with songs.
French
Sometimes
music is fantastic. French music is just superb.
very different, yeah. It was, but like that, I remember one time there was a program on RTE. Sorry, I should say that there was a big strike in RTE, and all the news was out. There was no news being broadcast. I think it went on for about 6 months. I'm talking about sometime in the 60s. And every night they'd put a program on instead of it, all a French program. And it'd just be about touring in France. I'd like to see it again, actually. But the
Yeah.
introduction to it was somebody playing the accordion, I remember. And if
Oh,
I ever hear the music, I think of that program just be on. And it
and
was most nights at
there,
6:30.
and that hit that was out there in the 70s or 60s, Where Do You Go to My Lovely?
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember the accordion
I
in
don't.
the entrance and things, and that
Pretty
was
sure it was
beautiful.
played. Most French films, if you see black and white especially, you
Yeah.
have to see them in a cafe and some fella would have a small
So
box,
you know, the trains, the trams we travel in France that you get. A chap comes on. You know where you get buskers in the station. This
Yeah,
chap came on the train and he had a little bag on the thing. You put a few coins in it. But he was playing. You could request something from him. He'd play it and he'd sing it. On the train while we were traveling. So I
yeah.
thought it was very good. It's very good. People joining in all with him. It's very good.
But Daniel O'Donnell do that for you. Once you pay him, he'd sing a song for
Oh,
you too, wouldn't he? If you met him
it is.
somewhere in a
Yeah.
station, you could
Shoot
ask
me
him,
now. Shoot me now, Tony.
you
Shoot me.
know, he could sing a song, and we'll move
Well,
along.
he has his. Yeah. So he recorded some nice numbers, all right.
Oh,
Daniel
oh,
O'Donnell.
okay, I couldn't stick him with that. But I tell you one big question I have now. What's the weather going to do? Are we going to get more sunshine or not?
Well, I don't know. Just have to know. But the next couple of days is bright spells and sunny and showers. So when the sun is shining, you run out and walk around and look up at the sky to see where the black clouds are. How far away are they?
And can you duck the
Yeah.
clouds, is it?
Yeah.
I'm looking here now myself. The dark is coming in now in the evening. I've no
It
lights
is now.
on.
It is now. I have lights on in my own house, but for the program.
But I
But
should have on lights now. I'm like a fella here in the dark looking at myself. You
believe it
know,
or not, now Tony, we've been talking for an hour, and whether people like it or not, I don't know. We don't mind whether they do or not. But when is the next walk coming up?
I'm pumping for another 2 weeks, probably next Wednesday, 2 weeks, I'd say. I must make a date for it actually when I get my act together, you know. Oh, by the way, I was watching a great documentary the other night on my son. Did you know more about it at all? Iris Robinson. Do you remember Peter Robinson? He's kind
Yeah,
of ground. He was leader one time of the DUP,
he was.
and his wife. A great documentary on money that she got. She got £50,000 sterling, obviously, from two developers to give to a young fella that was opening a kind of a cafe
Oh
somewhere.
yeah, as a grant. Yeah,
And he never knew kind of that the money was coming from. He came on the program, but it time now they were after the money. The people making the program, what's his name, Dara McIntyre. He was
yeah.
making the program, and the heel of a hunt, they discovered that she was doing the line with this young fella.
I know that. Yeah.
She was only 19. I think she 49 or 59 at the time. I forget.
Yeah.
But they never knew about that till it kind of transpired, you know. They tried to make out that Peter Robinson, did he know or didn't he know, you know, her husband. But it's a fascinating program, you know, and they've got the ground all together now. There's no talking of the two of them. You know,
I think it was love, was it?
well, you'll wonder like what happened in the end. There was no more talk about them. Nowadays, I mean, they finished up by saying that two of them wouldn't partake in the programme. They wouldn't pass a comment. So I presume they sit together anyway, because he was sentenced one time. What did he do? Something. He was sent down to Limerick prison, I remember. Back in the God, it was in the 80s, it was in the 90s, that he broke some law and I think he picketed someone and they arrested him.
That was Paisley themselves, wasn't it? They come down to Dundalk or somewhere like that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
they brought him down to Limerick prison, they brought him to, I remember, for a night. He did one night, he was only that. But like that, there's no more at all about him, like. And he was deputy leader. I wonder if poor old Paisley was around, what he'd have thought of Iris doing a line with the 19-year-old, you know.
Well, I don't know. You don't know what people, but there's characters.
Anyway, no, she kept some of the money for herself. That's what they were on about. That's what they were after. I think, 5,000. I think she wanted back out of the 50,000 that she got as a kind of a backhander. And the uncle admitted that in the program.
As a consultant fee.
Well, consultant, it depends on the way you look at a consultant. I don't know. I think it's time to go in now. We'll be up before Judge Tommy O'Donnell.
From Tony Bond and myself, lads, till we see you again, hopefully next Thursday night. This is the panel. Take care and have a good week. Take care.
Good luck.
Right on.
This is Rare Media. To whom it concerns, welcome to the panel.